Hi, Debbie Mack here, and I'm wearing this shirt today because I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, Doctor Who. So what I want to do is talk about my favorite doctors, and it's hard to pick a favorite. So, I'm just going to talk about why I like each of the ones that I picked. I'm going to start with Sylvester McCoy. Sylvester McCoy was just so cute and funny and quirky. And he teamed up with Ace, who was a girl who liked to explode things, which is really awesome. Sylvester McCoy was quirky and edgy and funny all at the same time. So, I don't know, how could you not like Sylvester McCoy? David Tennant. Now that guy's a cutie. Now he's in Grace Point, and I really miss his accent. But, he's awesome anyway. So when I was in London, I would have sworn that voice, that loudspeaker voice that says "Mind the Gap" on the tube was his voice. Matt Smith. He was a great match with Amy and Rory and River Song. I really loved River Song. I miss her. Anyway, bow ties are cool. John Pertwee. His adventures with the Brigadier were really unforgettable. And I really loved his companions. Liz Smith, this really intelligent doctor. Joe Grant, who starts off very naive, but then kind of grows up and learns stuff. And Sarah Jane, of course. I just loved Sarah Jane. But who doesn't love a man who wears a cape? Peter Davison. He was the second doctor I got to know after Tom Baker. When I first saw him after Tom Baker regenerated, I thought, wow, this guy is way too young to be the doctor. And but then he turned out to be great. And it was really too bad about Adric. Adric was a companion who died. And it was the first time I realized that companions could die. And it was so sad. I still get sad thinking about it. But anyway, he really was a good doctor. William Hartnell. He was the original doctor. And I really loved his companions, Susan, Ian, and Barbara. And he was the one who discovered the Daleks and so many of the other things. Cybermen, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'll have to check my slightly crappy Doctor Who episode guide one of these days and confirm that. Anyway, I know he discovered the Daleks. And in any case, even if he blew his lines every now and then, he was a really great doctor. And I liked him. Oh, I especially liked the scene where he says goodbye, Susan. It was really moving. Patrick Troughton. I have to confess I had completely blanked out on his name, and I had to confer with my slightly crappy Doctor Who complete episode guide before I could actually remember it. But that face and his attitude I'll never forget. And I loved his companion Jamie. Anyway, I had to dig that episode guide out from under a stack of scripts I'm reading for my screenwriting. And everything fell to the floor, and then I had to pick everything up, and it was a mess. Anyway, Patrick Troughton was really cool, and I liked him. And Jamie was really cool, too. I especially liked him. I love his accent. Peter Capaldi. I sense there are mixed reactions to him as Doctor, but I kind of like the idea of an older, avuncular man as the Doctor, rather than this romantic interest. Really, I never saw the Doctor as a romantic figure. The idea of kissing him would be like kissing your brother or something. Anyway, be that as it may, I like Peter Capaldi, and his relationship with Clara has been interesting. And last but not least, hardly least, Tom Baker, who was the first doctor I got to know, and his awesome scarf. Tom Baker, to me, is so special. He had to figure out the key of time mystery, the puzzle of the key of time. I'm not going to go into explaining all of the episodes, but you should check out the Tom Baker years, because those are some of the most interesting, at least to me. Maybe only because he was my first Doctor. But his relationship with Sarah Jane was so cool. And he also, after Sarah Jane left, he took on this savage woman as his companion. Somebody who was totally uncivilized, and yet learned to be more civilized, I think, as I recall. I can't remember her name. If I looked it up in my slightly crappy book, I'm sure I could find it. But anyway, Tom Baker was really cool and just unforgettable. And I loved his scarf, and I loved his outfit, and I loved his smile, and I just loved him. The end. Okay, not really the end. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention K9, the mechanical dog, and Romana, the female Time Lord who he traveled with as a companion for a while. They were really cool.